Most days, Utsav Batari spends 10 hours behind the wheel as a delivery driver. He's a gig worker, working long hours and often for not much pay.
There has been instances where I've worked 100 hours and barely made $1,000.
The amount of work he gets fluctuates, and how much he earns depends on which app he is working for.
We do not know how many hours we're going to work next week and how much we're going to make.
We've got workers in the gig economy that are literally rushing to their deaths.
Now, new laws are aiming to bring minimum standards to the gig economy.
Gig workers in Australia will now know that Australia is truly a country where you don't have to rely on tips to make ends meet.
The new laws apply to gig workers, like drivers with Uber and Menulog. For the first time, the Fair Work Commission will be able to set minimum standards, like a base rate of pay. That might mean delivery drivers get the same pay per minute, no matter which app they work for.
The Australian industrial relations system has modernised for a modern type of work.
Some of the major gig economy players backed the new laws, but acknowledge they'll lead to higher prices.
The exact price rises that come from the changes that will be announced today will ultimately be determined by the numbers that are set by the Fair Work Commission.
The laws passed the Senate this afternoon, wrapped in a bill with changes for casuals, truckies, and a new right to disconnect, and backed by enough of the crossbench, but strongly opposed by the coalition.
If you thought as a business in Australia you were drowning under a deluge of red tape, the bad news is it is about to get worse.
Getting this tranche of legislation through the Senate is certainly a political win for the government. It's second in only a few days after the coalition folded and backed the Prime Minister's revised income tax cuts. Industrial relations can make for difficult politics, but Labor appears to have figured out how to negotiate with an often fractious Senate crossbench. There are new battles looming, however, in housing, education, and a budget only a few months away. Tom Lowry, ABC News, Canberra.